And hello again, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Frazier Deeter's Business Beat. I'm John Ray, alongside Frazier Deeter partner Roger Lusby. Roger, welcome.
Good morning, John. How are you?
I'm great. You look awfully calm for this time of year.
I know. I'm doing really well. We got through the March 15th deadline, and we're staring at an April 15th deadline, and so that's good. We've got the market world crashing. We've got banks going under. We've got technology companies doing wonderfully. But we're here for the show, and we've got a great guest for us today.
Yeah, well, the ones in Alpharetta are doing great. I don't know about the ones in Silicon Valley, but anyway, we'll talk more about that. But you brought a colleague from Frazier & Deeter. Why don't you introduce him?
I do. I have my audit partner, Reid Blalock, here with us. Reid?
Hey, guys. Great to be here today. Reid Blalock, audit partner at Frazier & Deeter, representing our tech practice. So very happy to be here.
Terrific. Thank you, Reid. We'll congratulate you on the great work you're doing. But let's talk tech with Karen Cashion. We can't think of a better guest to have to talk about what's going on in the tech scene in Alpharetta than Karen. Karen, why don't you tell everybody what you're up to at Tech Alpharetta?
Okay. Well, first of all, thank you to Roger and Reid and Frazier Deeter for inviting me here this morning. It's a pleasure to be here and talk a little bit about what's happening with Tech Alpharetta. And I can assure you there's quite a bit going on these days. We've been busy introducing new initiatives and growing the ones that we already have.
Terrific. Now Karen, let's give, just for those that don't know about Tech Alpharetta, give some history and just
Sure.
how the organization got started and kind of what the trajectory has been.
Okay, sure. In 2013, the Alpharetta Technology Commission was formed by then Mayor David Belle-Isle, which was a commission of local tech C-levels to help advise the city on how to grow more technology in the city of Alpharetta. At right about the same time, I was looking for a local tech organization out here to serve the hundreds of tech companies and didn't see one. I was practicing law at the time. I'm a lawyer, but not practicing currently. And so I decided to create a nonprofit called the Greater Alpharetta Tech Network to host tech thought leadership programs out here in the North Metro area. David and I happened to be law partners. We talked and realized what one another was working on and said, hey, let's team up on this. So my nonprofit became the community engagement arm of what the Alpharetta Technology Commission was focusing on. The city rolled the commission off into a nonprofit intentionally, and I became involved at that point going forward, and ultimately in 2017 was asked to come on board and take the helm of things full time and merged my nonprofit into the Alpharetta Technology Commission. We rebranded to Tech Alpharetta at the end of 2017, and we've been going 150 miles an hour since then.
Yeah, because this North Fulton area is just blessed with over 1,000 technology companies, and that's been very, very exciting for this area.
It has. In fact, the majority of the residents that live here who work are employed in the technology industry as well. So between that and the large number of technology companies out here, this area, the North Metro area, is a tech hub in its own right, as well as being part of the overall Metro Atlanta region's tech hub.
Yeah, and I'm only seeing that increasing.
Absolutely. Yeah, tech loves to cluster, and with what we have out here already, in terms of the Fortune 500 tech companies that have a very large office presence or headquarters out here, as well as very strong mid-market tech representation and a booming startup sector as well. This area really will only continue to grow. It's considered a highly desirable area to grow a tech business.
Let's talk about. You mentioned tech likes to cluster. That implies clustering around something. And obviously one of those somethings is Tech Alpharetta. So talk about, I guess, why your Tech Alpharetta is such a crucial, let's say, central node for all these tech companies.
Sure. And for any listeners that aren't familiar with us, our mission is to grow more technology and more innovation in the city of Alpharetta, but we're effectively serving the entire North Metro corridor out here. Mm-hmm. And so we have a physical presence. The city is a close partner of Tech Alpharetta. We're in a city-owned building is where we operate our tech startup incubator. And that's really ground zero, the center of gravity, if you will, for tech here in the North Fulton area. We host events there. We have currently 51 tech startup companies who are members there and benefiting from the services and programs at our incubator. And we also have 20 startup graduates who have moved out into the community and are successfully building and creating more tech jobs and more tech companies for the community. So we're really, as I said, sort of the center of gravity. We host the tech thought leadership programs that area technology executives and professionals can attend who are working and or living out here in this corridor. And we're providing the educational thought leadership companies to the startups. And we're also running a STEAM mentoring program for girls at the local Innovation Academy High School, and running a tech studio program, which is educational programs, leadership development, and technical courses for companies and individuals.
Is that with the new STEM school that's right there in downtown Alpharetta?
That's actually through two of our partner companies that we're working closely with. We say it's Tech Studio, powered by Right Now Solutions and Turknet Leadership Group. And it's through their courses and our partnership, we can offer them to individuals and companies. But the STEAM mentoring program is with Innovation Academy. They're a close partner as well. We love what they're doing over there.
Yeah, and it's a great facility over there.
Oh, it's beautiful. Fantastic.
So 51 companies in the incubator and 24 that have graduated?
20 have graduated,
yeah,
yes.
Awesome.
Yes, so it's a great track record. The incubator itself opened in 2015. And so that's a very good rate of graduates. It usually takes a number of years for companies to work their way up and graduate.
So tell our listeners about some of the success stories that you guys have seen.
Happy to, because the funny thing is my team and I really, we get to know these companies so well, the startups at the incubator, and are, cheering them on and providing them with resources and introductions and what they need to help scale up. And so when they get to the size, they actually organically outgrow us and graduate, if you will, because once they're either customer revenue positive or they've brought in investor funding, they're at the point where they can start to really seriously staff up. And our largest office holds officially 8 or 9. We've had 11 in there by one company. But so once they've staffed up to a certain point, they're really ready to move out into commercial space in the community. We encourage but don't require them to consider headquartering in the city of Alpharetta. Most of them do. And we host a graduation recognition at City Hall. The mayor recognizes the company. We issue a press release and out they go. And so a couple of those graduates, they're all doing really well, but a couple of them are quite notable. Data Sears, fintech compliance software platform, is headquartered here in the city of Alpharetta. They graduated at the end of 2019. They now have 100 employees, 50 in the city of Alpharetta, 50 more in their office in India, and they're opening or have just recently opened a Singapore office. That's a great success story. It's great for them. It's great for the city that they're creating these new jobs. The higher paying tech jobs is what everybody wants to see created in their city or region. And in fact, the founder of Data Sears, Adwait Joshi, is speaking on go-to-market strategy for us next month. To help kind of tell the rest of the startups, okay, here's what you need to do. Yeah. So that's been a great success story. We have another one.
Well, and the fintech space is so big in the Atlanta area as well. I mean, we have a number of success stories in that space.
We really do. Yeah. Fintech, cyber, healthcare, IT, they're all, particularly heavily represented out here. So at any given time, we'll see them in our incubator as well. In terms of other success stories, another great success story, there is Voxy, a marketing technology software company that had a over $20 million Series A raise 2 years ago and is staffing up in the city of Alpharetta. There is Variable, the company that squeezed 11 people into our office. They never complained, had a lot of people in our largest office, and we're in there for several years. That is a manufacturing staffing platform on demand. So companies that have a manufacturing facility can basically find a qualified temporary employee same day if they need to by using this software platform. And that company is now up to, I believe it's close to 40 employees here in the city of Alpharetta. They started in Texas, and one person came here to try to build the Atlanta area office, and they've been wildly successful. So we're really excited for them as well.
Yeah, exciting. And I always like the way that the technology companies come up with their names, John.
Oh, yeah. They're much more imaginative than I am, that's for sure.
Well, they have to be, I think.
Karen, one of the things that I think is notable about your work is how you connect. Certainly, you provide all these services for startups, and you graduate them, and they generate jobs, and that's good for headlines. But something that's that travels under the surface that I think is just as important, it seems to me, is the connections you help people make. And because we have some really large technology companies around here, and making those connections between those companies and some of these startups is something you excel at.
Well, thank you. And it's something that's very important to us because those connections can be so beneficial both to the enterprise company and to the startup. The startups have a very difficult time when they're in startup mode trying to even get the door cracked open for a conversation with enterprise companies. Enterprise companies might be looking for outside technology but have no idea what's out there. And so one of the programs we run, and we call it our industry interface program, and what we do with that is we connect our interested enterprise board companies, for starters, with our startups. And that's been very successful. So we've been able to curate a number of meetings. I think last year we had 11 startups meeting with 4 different enterprise companies. And just to give you an example, that LexisNexis Risk Solutions, for example, has been a fantastic partner in that program. They've been on our board since 2013. And they're very, very interested in outside technology and in helping with their open source, completely free HPCC platform. And so they've worked with data seers. They're working currently with 3 of our startups. They're wonderful about paying it forward and really giving the time of their team to see if there's potential synergies and just to see how they can help, basically.
Yeah, that's great work, and that means more prosperity all around. And those are jobs and prosperity that get created, but may not get the headlines, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yes. Yeah. Yes. I mean, the jobs numbers are great. It's our startups have created more than 1,000 jobs for the city of Alpharetta, the graduates alone since 2015, and nearly 2,000 new jobs overall for the state of Georgia, which is quite significant when you think that we're really one of the smaller incubators in terms of size. So that just shows what a tech economic development engine the incubators can be. But yeah, there's so much more going on that may not hit the news, but is quite significant and impactful.
Folks, we're here chatting with Karen Cashion. She is the president CEO of Tech Alpharetta. Karen, let's let's widen it out a little bit. And Roger alluded to the activity that's going on in the tech sector here in Alpharetta. Let's talk in general terms about some of the trends that you're seeing among some of the major tech areas that are important to Alpharetta, such as fintech, for example.
Yeah, well, we have we're blessed with a lot of really large fintech companies out here in Alpharetta. There's Global Payments, there's Fiserv, Priority Payment Systems, all of whom are on our board. I will, throw that in there, which we're very pleased about. And so, in a sense, that helps to anchor the area for fintech when you have companies of that size here in Alpharetta with, employing a very large number of employees in their local offices here. And so I think that factors like that can help attract more startups and even mid-market companies to this area. They see who is here. If it's in their tech vertical, it's an industry vertical, that's very attractive to them, and that makes them more likely to want to come here to grow their companies. So it's an organic cycle, if you will, that helps to continue to grow the tech companies and attract new ones to headquarter here.
Yeah, because I've always heard from some of our technology companies that one of their biggest complaints is just attracting talent.
Right.
Especially if they were out here in the suburbs or in the North Fulton area. A lot of the younger kids want to maybe be downtown Atlanta, but it seems like to me that some of the companies are doing a good job of attracting talent. although they probably would say we always need more.
Yes, that's definitely what we hear. And they are doing a good job of attracting it out here because they have a lot to offer. And as Alpharetta has grown and amenities have been added, tremendous amenities like City Center and Avalon, Alpharetta has developed kind of a hip reputation, and people like to come here to visit on weekends and nights. So it's also much more appealing for people to consider it as a place to come out and work. But yes, they'll say, they always need more. And that's why we really wanted to focus on offering courses that can help them fill their talent pipelines, right? Help them train managers to be leaders, help train people that want to get new tech certifications to move up the ladder and help fill internal openings in their own companies. That's one way to help fill that pipeline as well. And then, of course, starting with the high school level, trying to encourage, do our part to encourage more girls to pursue careers in STEAM, not only to help fill that future pipeline, but to help balance out the current gender disparity that we see in the tech industry.
Yeah, but I think that's happening. I mean, all of your statistics with colleges and grad schools, and even medical schools, the females are starting to dominate. And so it'll only be natural that they get more into the technology arenas. Probably engineering is still the most male-dominated.
It is.
As far as the majors go.
It is, yeah.
But yeah, no, that's exciting. And those of us who live and work up here, we know that we've got everything up here now, and that's
right.
really, really exciting.
Right, yeah. It's really a robust tech ecosystem up here, and we have what we need. At the same time, I always like to say we're also very much part of the overall Metro Atlanta tech ecosystem as well. We have partnerships across that ecosystem. We work very closely in partnership with the other incubators downtown, with Venture Atlanta, with the Metro Atlanta Chamber, working to build more collaboration so that we can all work together. At the end of the day, we're not competing. We're all trying to do the same thing, right? We want to put this region on the map as a tech hub overall to continue to attract more businesses here.
And you're doing a good job.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, so let's dive into that a little bit more, because some of that programming that you offer, like from ATDC, for example, right? So you're able to extend some of that or be an outpost for some of that programming where tech companies, startups, they don't have to go into Midtown or downtown or what have you to participate, right?
Right. That's exactly right. As much as we all like to brag about our particular incubators, we all of us that are running, tech startup incubators also have to admit that startups will gravitate towards incubators heavily based on geographic location. It's really what's convenient to where they live, right? And so, for us, we're attracting the startups here, and not just Alpharetta, but the entire North Metro corridor. They don't want to go downtown and drive all the way downtown. And likewise, the Atlanta Tech Village, which is fantastic, is attracting the metro area resident startups. So really, there's not competition between us at all, and who we're attracting is. They're very much locally based. They live out here, they work out here, and they want to continue to stay and grow their companies out in this region.
Yeah, terrific. Karen Cashion, folks, she is the president and CEO of Tech Alpharetta. You mentioned your board. Talk about the importance of the not just the breadth, but the depth of individuals that you have on your board.
Yeah, absolutely. And if I could, I realized I didn't entirely answer your last question, which is yes, we do have a great longtime partnership with ATDC. Yeah. They host their Alpharetta Startup Circle every Friday at our Innovation Center, and have been, tremendous partners, always there to help and work with our startups. So you're right, they don't have to drive downtown to be able to access the benefits of what ATDC has to offer to all the startups in the state.
Cool.
In terms of our board, we have a phenomenal board. It's a heavily engaged group of tech executives and a few business executives, the mayor, city economic development, and community partners like the Greater North Fulton Chamber and the Alpharetta Chamber. And it's very much of a working board. They're really dedicated to helping continue to grow the ecosystem here. They're excited to be part of it. We try to keep it as a balanced board in terms of the different company sizes. We have a great deal of probably almost all, if not all, probably almost all of the enterprise level tech companies in Alpharetta are on our board. We have a number of mid-market as well, and several startups, including Data Seers, who I mentioned, so that we can get perspectives from all the different size tech companies. One of the things we're also really proud of that you don't often see on boards is that our board is 51% women and persons of color. So diversity is an absolute priority for our organization. But as I said, it's C-levels and the senior most executive on the ground from those companies that are members of our board. So it's really the strategic level thinkers, and so they come up with tremendous ideas. We'll have brainstorming, strategy sessions once a year or so, and they've really been essential to helping us to grow this organization and its footprint out here in Alpharetta and in the metro region as a whole.
Yeah, that's great. And speaking of a place to gather, I mean, you're creating a place to gather. I mean, sure, they give a lot to the organization, but they also gain a lot from being part of that group, I guess, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a wonderful peer group for them.
Yeah.
And so they can, hear what's happening in other industries or in like industries. They get to know the others on the board. It connects them with the tech community, our programming, and we try to provide a lot of speaking opportunities for them because they are tech thought leaders in their own right. So yes, I'd like to think that there's a benefit, but we're always very grateful that they're giving their time because they're all extremely busy.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, it's good when you give great value like that, for sure.
Yeah.
So let's talk about goals that you might have for this year and beyond and what the future looks like.
Yeah. One of our goals, as I said earlier, was to launch the Tech Studio initiative this year, which we've launched this quarter. We're really excited about that and continuing to grow that. Another of our goals is to continue to scale up our STEAM mentoring program. We had just piloted it for the first time last year with Innovation Academy. It was such a success that we wanted to try to scale it as quickly as possible, but realized that realistically, we were going to need some kind of an app or technology to help us do that with the matching and tracking mentors and mentees. We were very fortunate to participate in a hackathon that Morgan Stanley held, and were one of 2 nonprofit recipients of the results of that hackathon. As a result, Morgan Stanley is building an app for our STEAM mentoring program that is going to enable us to scale up that program. We'd like to continue to meet the need at Innovation Academy and then ultimately scale the program to the point where we can serve other high schools as well. We've had a number of schools asking us, hey, can you start that program here? And we said, yeah, we'll get there. We promise you we'll get there, but it's not going to be immediate. So that is definitely one of our longer term goals.
Yeah, that's terrific. And talk about the impact of success there. What does that look like for you?
The success for us is, there's not a numerical metric there other than let's serve and have mentors work with as many of these girls as we can. Mm-hmm. Because success for us is really being able to provide a trusted senior technology executive mentor, trusted guide for these girls to, they're very high achievers at Innovation Academy. And, but like most high schoolers, they may not have much sense of what it's like to work in corporate. What kind of jobs are there in technology? That's not really part of most high schools' curriculums to find out what the career opportunities are across technology. And so these female mentors are just a fantastic resource for these girls. And so success for us is really to be able to serve as many of those girls as we can. And ultimately down the road in a few years, we also want to serve the boys, the high school boys as well. We started with the girls, but, mentors, you can't really overstate the value of a mentor for a high school student.
But are those girls that are eventually probably going to go on to college as well, or
they're likely to go on to college. And of course, the Innovation Academy is a STEM high school, mm-hmm. but there's still not a lot of senior level female role models in tech, and it's also easy to get discouraged. There's still instances where girls in any high school might be the only ones in their computer science class, and it's in a class of all boys, and so what we've seen and what the statistics and research shows is that very often girls get discouraged from STEAM careers sometime between middle school and high school, maybe because of the social pressure or just not seeing more people that look like them pursuing the AP computer science courses. So the more we can do to encourage them and provide them with information and role models, the better the likelihood is that they'll continue along the STEAM path from a college and career standpoint.
Well, that's really quite an investment you're making in future generations. In terms of truly paying it forward. That's terrific work.
Well, thank you. We're all very, very excited about it, very passionate about it. And the real thanks goes to our Tech Alpharetta Women's Forum board, who's worked very, very hard. David Fisher and Sunita Arora are the co-chairs of that board and have put in a lot of hours, and it was really their brainchild. So I've got to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, that's terrific. Kudos to them. So talk about any other initiatives we ought to hear about, or maybe success stories that folks need to know about.
Yeah, in terms of success stories, and that's always something where I think, gosh, we're so busy trying to help the startups scale up that sometimes there isn't time to even tell the success stories. There's so many of our startups that are getting accepted into, very prestigious accelerator programs, the IBM Accelerator or the Engage, which is a very big downtown program that connects them with Fortune 100 companies. This is a regular occurrence at our incubator. We have people that have been in the Engage, graduates of the Engage program, or they're ATDC signature companies, or they're part of the IBM Accelerator program. All of which are great harbingers of future success for these startups, because when they get those kind of connections and guidance from those accelerator programs, the likelihood that they're going to succeed is so much higher. Because as we know, the stat is that about 7 out of 10 startups will fail. So those programs make a difference, and we're really proud of the fact that we do have so many founders that have successfully been accepted into accelerator programs or are meeting their milestones and moving along the path to success. It's a several year process for any startup. For the med device startups, and we tend to have 1 or 2 of them at any time, it's a 5 to 10 year road because of the regulatory requirements. So we're really we could probably do more cheerleading than we do. We're so busy with the day-to-day, but it's really exciting and fantastic. And to some degree, when they do hit these milestones or graduate out of our incubator, we sort of feel like a proud parent to some degree.
One of the things, Karen, I don't think we covered as we kind of wrap things up here is for startups that are interested in becoming part of Tech Alpharetta, what's required?
Yeah, that's a great question, John. So our requirements are that it must be tech. No startups except for tech startups can join our center, and they have to be creating their own intellectual property. So they can't be, seeking to resell some technology software license, a technology software that their company has already created and commercialized. They have to be creating brand new technology. So those are really the 2 requirements. But for those reasons, that's one of the reasons why startups can't just fill out an application and membership agreement online and join up. They need to come in person and meet with us so that we can talk with them and find out what they're working on. And at the end of the day, most of our startups are B2B software as a service startups. We do get a sprinkling of hardware. We've had a drone company that graduated, a robotics company that graduated. So we get a sprinkling of hardware and a few med device, but typically it is B2B software as a service startups. And if they're interested in membership, we'd love to talk with them.
Yeah, terrific. And for those that would like more information in general, let's give them directions.
Yes. So if they'd like more information about Tech Alpharetta, whether it's our incubator or people that might be interested in attending our programs that are out in the community for tech professionals, they can go to techalpharetta.com. If they have specific questions, they are welcome to email me, Karen at techalpharetta.com.
Karen Cashion, CEO, President of Tech Alpharetta. Karen, thank you so much for coming in. We appreciate you.
Thank you
and
for
the great
having
work
me.
you're doing. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, John, you can see all the accolades that Karen has. She's so excited about what she's doing, and I think we're going to add one more to that list here in the next week or so. But the Greater North Fulton Chamber of Commerce is going to honor you, right?
Yes.
As the woman CEO for the not-for-profit space.
Yes, I was
so
very
congratulations.
excited about that. Very honored. Thank you.
So just another accolade for her.
That's right. She's too modest to bring that up, so I'm glad you brought that up. So thank you for doing that, and congratulations, Karen, on that
Thank you.
well-deserved honor.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
And I also just want to say that we're very excited to now be partnering with Frazier and Deeter.
Terrific.
Well, there was a reason that we wanted to do that, right, Reid?
That's right.
In fact, I think there were 24 reasons, right?
There you go. Well, congratulations on that partnership and a lot of fruitful things. And we need to give a shout out to a coming program while we're at it, while we're talking about that Frazier Deeter association. Talk about that, Karen.
Yeah. So on April 19th, we're having an open startup workshop, but really anybody is welcome. We provide the lunch, and Tommy Xavier, oh, so sorry, is going to be presenting, and he leads the tax and credit partnership for Frazier
Credits
Deeter.
and incentives, yes.
Okay, thank you. So he's going to be speaking on research and development tax credits, which are something that most startups we find aren't familiar with, and many of them are qualified to claim those and end up leaving money on the table because they didn't know about them. So we're really excited.
Yeah, and
the
smaller companies are able to use that credit to offset payroll taxes.
That's
so
right.
It actually can be a cash incentive from day one.
Absolutely. So we're really excited about that. Again, that is April 19th. It's a free program. Anybody that wants to come, we hope you'll join us.
Well, that'll be great.
Yeah, absolutely. Karen, thanks again for coming in.
Thanks so much, John. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder. Frazier & Deeter is one of the largest, fastest growing accounting firms and advisory firms in the United States because they serve the emerging needs of their clients as they evolve. That's easy for me to say. They serve clients from the global Fortune 1000 to growing private businesses to even startups, as we heard, by accounting for today while advising for the future. Frazier & Deeter invest in relationships to make a difference. For more information, go to FrazierDeeter.com. Roger, this has been fun.
Yeah, very easy. Karen was a great guest and certainly carried the show. And Reid and I are looking forward to coming back again and doing another one.
Yeah, this will be we'll have a lot to celebrate next time, right? It'll be after tax day, I think, right?
Will.
That'll be great. Reid, thanks for coming in too.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So for Roger Lusby, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on Frazier & Deeter's Business Beat.